Hello everyone, once again with channel Astro. Today I am going to talk about Jupiter's transit to Leo for Aries Ascendant. So the whole series of Jupiter transit today I'm going to start, but every week or every alternate days I'll actually start making one video for this Leo transit of Jupiter. But before I start off with Jupiter's transit to Leo for Aries Ascendant, I will make sure one thing, that for any transit, why we consider ascendant, why not moon sign? We can also talk about moon sign, but moon sign will only talk about the emotional psychological changes, the graph of our psychological approach change and emotional ups and downs, that we'll talk about. But when it comes to materialistic approach, like when I'm going to get any salary increment, or the property which I was thinking of selling for a long time, when actually I can sell it out. So for all these materialistic result, we need to see the transit, whether it's Jupiter, whether it's Mars, anything is from ascendant. So that will give us that clear picture of materialistic gain. So let's start with Jupiter transit to Leo for Aries Ascendant. So Jupiter has transited to Leo on 14th July 2015, and it will be there for next 13 months. So Jupiter will be in Leo, where Jupiter will be getting lots of strength, authority, power, because it's his friendly sign, fiery friendly sign Leo. And for Jupiter Ascendant, for Aries Ascendant, Jupiter is the lord of 9th and 12th house, which will be transiting to friendly sign 5th house Leo. So for Jupiter being very beneficial planet, it's a natural benefit planet, and it doesn't end here, because for Aries Ascendant, Jupiter is the lord of 9th house, the house of fortune, house of luck. So when 9th house lord will be transiting to 5th house for Aries Ascendant, will be aspecting the ascendant itself. So overall, the entire period of 13 months, Aries people is going to feel lots of positivity, optimism in them. No matter how much hurdles they will go through, there will always be some inherited positivity in them, that will keep on going. So that's a good thing actually. And financially, this is going to be a good time, obviously, because the 9th lord Jupiter, that will be from 5th house, aspecting the house of gain, 11th house, the house of profit, gain, benefit. So when Jupiter will be aspecting the house of gain, so pretty much Aries Ascendant people, they will be getting whatever they were opting for, whatever they were desiring for a long time. So that will start actually working out from this time. And Aries Ascendant people will be actually having a little more extra financial position, strength during this time. And also they will be having benefit, gaining money, finance from some very reputed source, because it's Jupiter who is aspecting. It's Jupiter. Jupiter is not a very low level, like we say that Saturn is for low caste people. That's what is written in our books, classics. So Jupiter, when it will be aspecting 11th house, so the gain from will be from some reputed things, some white collar job, some good work, and there will be chances of getting good reputation, good one good hold inside the family when it comes to finance. So financially also they will be having a reputed condition in home, family too. Those Aryan people, those who were actually thinking of getting enrolled in some higher education, some courses, that's the time actually, because 9th is the house of higher education, and its lord Jupiter, that is going to get transited in 5th house of knowledge, talent, and from there it's going to actually aspect its own house, that ninth house, ninth sign Sagittarius. So that's a very, very good positioning for getting enrolled into some new course. And for father also, because ninth house is the house of father. So Aries people, the father of Aries people, they will also have some successful time. The fortune will be actually helping them. The ninth house is the house of luck and fortune, so they will feel fortunate during this time too. Fifth house is the house of progeny. So, and Jupiter is the one who actually bless people with sun, Putra Karak. So Jupiter being the Putra Karak, sitting on in fifth house of progeny, those who were planning for some new addition in family, they can surely go for that. It's a good time, because Jupiter is going to be in the fifth sign, fifth house of progeny. Because Jupiter is actually sitting in fifth house, which is 11th away from seventh house of partnership, seventh house of spouse, marriage. So those who are going to get married during this time, to those who are having favorable time for getting married in terms of the shine or house activation, they will be actually benefited by marriage or benefited by any partnership deal, because Jupiter is posited in 11th away from 7th house, the house of gain from partnership. As 5th house is 6th away from 12th house. 12th is the house of hospitalization, and Jupiter will be sitting, being 12th house lord, Jupiter will be sitting in the 5th, 6th away from 8. So less chances of getting hospitalized. That's a very good thing. So there will be very less chances of getting major health issues or something like this. Very rare chance. Jupiter in 5th house can give one bad thing. That's a good thing, but then again bad thing. Jupiter is the one who expands things. This is a planet of expansion. So Jupiter can give the tendency to actually going for something more extra, larger than life activities. So later that can be proved very bad for Arians peoples, because excess of anything is very bad. So if you are taking steps in speculation or something, because fifth is the house of speculation, so have a control on yourself. Don't go for too much of activities and all those things. Arian people can be beneficiary in terms of inheritance from mother's side during that time. So let's talk about some negativities. Fifth house, which is 8th away from the house of profession, 10th. 10th house is the house of profession. So when it's 8th away from 8, that means there can be some trouble from top class authority in your office. Those who will be your authority, your boss, you can have some trouble with those people. So I will say just keep your eyes open in your workplace, in your workstation. And as again I told, that 6th away from 12th house, so there can be chances of missing out foreign travel because of some trouble from your professional life, because your authority cannot favor you. Some unfavorable feedback from your authority at workplace, so that can actually give you setback while going to foreign land in terms of your any project or something. So you are not getting any recommendation from your authorities, so you are losing the opportunity. So that can also happen, so keep your eyes open in terms of that. Other than that, I would say this is more or less a very, very good time, good period for Aries people, because Jupiter being the 9th house of fortune lord, sitting in the 5th house, aspecting its own sign, aspecting the ascendant itself. So this trine, it's going to make our grand trine 159. That's a very, very good position for Aries people, and so just go on. I hope everyone will be having a very good time. Now, a few of the things depends on how much points Jupiter is going to get in Ashtak Varga table in Leo sign. If it's 4, then its name is Ashtak. First of all, you understand that point. Ashtak means 8 points. So in total 8 points. If Jupiter is getting 4, so mediocre result, 50-50. If it's getting less than 4, then hard time, the kind of positivity I told you in the whole video, so those will be missing. The intensity of good effects will be less. And if it's more than 4, 5, 6, so that's obviously the abundance of good time you are going to get. Now let's come down to the nakshatra level. In Leo, Jupiter is going to actually cross 3 nakshatras: Magha, Purva Falguni and Uttar Falguni. So while transiting to Magha, Jupiter people, that ascendant of Aries, Arian people will feel lots of spiritual effect on them. They will get entangled in many various spiritual activities, because the Lord of Magha Ketu itself is actually transiting to the 12th sign, 12th house of Aries people, that is Pisces. So they can even go for some pilgrimage and lots of sattvic activities, which we actually call. So that can happen during that Magha phase of Jupiter's transit. After that, it will be Purva Falguni. During that phase, they can have lots of good time in terms of celebration at home, spending good times with your family. All these things can happen, because the Purva Falguni Lord Venus is the Lord of 7th and 2nd house, that's partner, family. So they can have some gala time with family, friends and celebration, all those things. And lastly, the Uttar Falguni. The Uttar Falguni time will be when they will literally feel that, oh yes, luck is actually smiling on them. They will feel that smile of luck, smile of fortune on them, because the Lord of Uttar Falguni, that is Sun itself, the 5th house Lord. So that ultimately the trine, the grand trine will get activated for Uttar Falguni. Jupiter will reach where Jupiter will get so much of strength, and it will be having the authority and boldness. So during that time, overall, from all the aspects, Aries people will feel so much of positivity in them. But by the time Rahu will be conjuncting Jupiter in 5th sign of Leo. So my take on that is, be careful. 5th house is the house of speculation. So don't go on betting, don't go on too much of activity in share market. So just take care of yourself, just have a control, because Rahu will push you. Rahu will actually push the Jupiter. Jupiter is for expansion. Rahu will amplify that. So have a control on that side, that aspect. Other than that, I will say that for Jupiter, for Aries people, this is really a good time going to start for them. So actually, one more thing I need to tell for Aries people. Till now, Jupiter was in 4th house Cancer. From there it was aspecting the transit Saturn in 8th house Scorpio. So as for Aries people, this transit of Saturn is really bad in 8th house, but Jupiter is somehow controlling it. First of all, Jupiter was aspecting Saturn, so it was having that benefic aspect on Saturn, so a little bit of mitigation of affliction. And the second thing, right now, no more effect on Saturn, but then the overall positivity, the optimism, that enthusiasm Jupiter is going to give you in life. So just utilize it, and yeah, don't forget to check your Ashtavarga point. So because that matters a lot, because whatever I'm saying, that will be, the intensity will vary as per the points in Ashtavarga table. So that was all about Jupiter in Leo for Aries Ascendant. Whatever I have talked about, discussed, that whole thing you can see in my article section in my official website astrosocialmister.com. You can revert back, you can give your feedback, you can ask your queries on this video in YouTube itself, or wherever it's, whether it's Twitter or in my Facebook page. Nowadays social media is having so much a big huge cobweb networking, oh god. So all the links are here, written over here, so you just go through that, and I'll be looking forward to your feedback, guys. Next, again, for the Taurus Ascendant, And I'll go on and on for next 11 signs. Till that time, I'll say keep reading, keep implementing whatever I'm telling you. Keep implementing on your chart, your family's chart, because until and unless you are not taking any fees, so keep implementing. People are not going to kill you for whatever you're going to say. So that's the way you will be actually learning. Your eyes will get used to it. So keep going with that. Till the time, bye bye.